Hello, this is a special episode of Tacoma Victorian. Today marks 140 years since the Chinese expulsion. This video will cover the expulsion. Tacoma's first Chinese community started in the 1850s, with many Chinese coming over to head to California during the gold rush. Many settled in the Washington Territory and worked as miners, farmers, and laborers building the Transcontinental Railroad. The Chinese population fluctuated as they would work temporary jobs throughout the county. The waterfront in what is today known as Old Town was the most significant Chinese settlement in Tacoma. The area was known as Little Canton because most of the Chinese immigrants in the area came from southern China. The economic downturn that started in 1882 fueled xenophobia in the western U.S. The white citizens of the region blamed the Chinese for the job scarcity and economic competition, as they were willing to work more dangerous jobs for less pay. Mayor Weisbach supported the expulsion of Tacoma's Chinese population. Throughout the 1880s, he and other city officials held meetings to discuss how to deal with what was known as the Chinese question. On September 28, 1885, the anti-Chinese Congress met in Seattle and proclaimed that all Chinese residents must leave the western part of the Washington Territory by November 1st. They would later go about informing them of the expulsion. About 900 Chinese residents left, with around 200 remaining. On the morning of November 3, 1885, a mob entered Little Canton to drive out the remaining Chinese residents. They were marched at gunpoint by men, often masked, 8 miles to the Lakeview railway station in what is now Lakewood. Those who could afford to purchased tickets to Portland or Canada. Others were forced to walk. In the days after the expulsion, the homes and businesses of Little Canton were burned. The physical traces of Tacoma's Chinese community were lost. Only the railroad they helped build remained. The expulsion had lasting impacts that are still felt today. Chinese people were effectively banned from living in the city until the 1920s. Today, Tacoma is the only major city on the West Coast that doesn't have a Chinatown, and the hatred that led to the expulsion were burned into the hearts of the residents who were forced out. None would ever return, and the stories of Tacoma's first Chinese community were forever lost. The 27 men who were responsible for the expulsion were never convicted, and were praised by heroes by the white residents of Tacoma. The road to reconciliation is long and painful. The Chinese Reconciliation Project Foundation was founded in 1994 to educate the people of Tacoma about this horrific chapter in the city's history. This led to the creation of Chinese Reconciliation Park, built close to the site of Little Canton. The park holds cultural events throughout the year, allowing Tacoma to engage with the Chinese heritage it never got to have.